Tonight on CTV, hear about CSU's new way to break down forever chemicals.
Then listen in as we learn about the Museum of Discovery's new exhibitions.
And finally, explore Fort Collins' diverse selection of holidays and how each are celebrated.
All this and more tonight on CTV.
Good evening, Rams. I'm Adam Carlson.
And I'm Gabriele Hibbitts.
With the start of a new year, Coloradans will see several new laws going into effect, impacting everything from driving rules to child safety and even egg sales.
One of the biggest changes is a ban on holding cell phones while driving, which takes effect January 1st. Violators face a $75 fine and 2 license points for a first offense, with penalties increasing for repeat offenders.
Another law updates child safety seat requirements. Kids in Colorado must now stay in booster seats until they turn 9, raising the age by 1 year.
Eggs sold in the state will also have to come from cage-free environments starting in January 2025. This is the final phase of a law passed in 2020 that aimed at improving conditions for hens on farms.
New vehicle gun storage laws will require handguns left in unattended vehicles to be secured in locked containers and out of view, with violators facing up to $500 in fines.
Other laws taking effect include bans on PFAS cosmetics and indoor textile furniture.
For a full list of laws going into effect this year, the Colorado General Assembly website, visit the Colorado General Assembly website. The next legislative session will begin on January 8th. Another food-based illness has arrived in cucumbers. Salmonella has been found in many cucumbers, leading to the recalling of cucumbers and veggie trays in Safeway, Albertsons, and Walmarts, with Costco alerting shoppers about the outbreak but not recalling. This is another example of food-bearing disease recently, with other instances like McDonald's lettuce and carrots E. coli outbreaks. Joel Passe is a soil and crops major here at CSU and believes that this is the start of a trend.
I'm trying not to worry about it because this is basically unavoidable, but moving into the future, like, oh my god, everything doesn't have E. coli and salmonella all over it, and I just have to live with that.
If you are concerned about your food, you can stay up to date on recalls by visiting the FDA's website to search local recalls to you.
Fort Collins police arrested a man accused of holding a woman hostage inside a home Friday night. Officers responded to a home on the 700 block of Bear Creek Drive after a man called 911, claiming he had a hostage. According to police, a woman could be heard in the background pleading for help. The suspect, identified as Eric Dunning, told dispatchers he was armed and threatened to kill the woman. Fort Collins police activated the SWAT team, and nearby residents were alerted using a reverse 911 system. Crisis negotiators attempted to resolve the situation peacefully, but SWAT officers eventually entered the home. The woman was rescued and treated for serious injuries. Dunning was taken into custody and faces multiple felony charges, including first-degree assault, second-degree kidnapping, and false imprisonment. He is also charged with obstructing and resisting arrest. Lieutenant Sarah Lynn praised the officers, saying hostage situations at Fort Collins are rare and that the SWAT team's training and professionalism led to a successful outcome. Police confirmed that Dunning and the victim knew each other, and detectives are working with the district attorney's office on the case.
In January, Colorado will be seeing an increase in minimum wage statewide. Colorado's previous minimum wage was at $14.42, but the new wage is set at $14.81. For tipped workers, wages are allowed to be $3.02 cheaper, meaning their new minimum wage is $11.79. Federal minimum wage, however, will remain the same at $7.25, a price that hasn't changed since 2009. And with that, we're going to head to a quick break. But after the break, we'll be taking a look at next week's weather with Elyse Gerke. So stick around.
After 2 years gotta be kidding me!
Okay, no.
Robbie.
Seriously, do you have anything you can use against the dragon?
I can do fireball, that'll do a lot of damage.
Yeah, to all of us!
Well,
We're in a 4-foot room!
I'm sorry, what else do you want me to do?
Okay. Hold on. All right. Wizard. You gonna roll?
Welcome back from the break, Rams. I'm Elyse Gerke, here to give you this week's weather rundown, so let's jump right into it. Currently in Fort Collins, it is 38 degrees, and the sun is set at 4:33. The humidity is going to be a little bit wetter tonight at 49%, and the wind is moving northwest at 3 miles per hour. It was another beautiful sunny day here in Fort Collins. On my way to class, I saw some squirrels in the arboretum. There are two different types of squirrels native to Colorado, the ground squirrel and the tree squirrel. And the most common squirrel here on campus is the tree squirrel. Heading into the overnight lows, heading down the I-25 corridor, we're going to see some late 20s and mid-30s. Over here on the eastern plains, we're going to see 20s tonight. Over here on the western slopes, it's going to be a little bit colder with Craig at 4 degrees and Gunnison at -5. Grand Junction's always going to be a little bit warmer at 27 degrees. Tomorrow in Fort Collins, we're going to see a high of 52 degrees and a low of 28, and the sun, as again, always sets 1 minute later at 4:32, and the humidity is going to be at 36%. The wind will be moving south at 6 miles per hour. Heading into our 5-day forecast, we're going to see a little bit of sun and a little bit of clouds in the high 50s on Saturday and Sunday, and on Monday and Tuesday, we're going to see the low to mid 40s. And that brings me to the end of our weather forecast. I'm Elyse Gerke, and this is unfortunately my last night as the weather woman here at CSU, but I hope you guys all have a good finals week and a great holiday season. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that, Elyse. Researchers at Colorado State University have discovered a new approach for breaking PFAS chemicals down, named Forever Chemicals, as they are designed to not break down naturally and can remain in the environment for hundreds or even thousands of years. The properties of PFAS chemicals pose health risks from long-term exposure.
Has led to the widespread use of these manufactured chemicals in medical, industrial, and commercial settings. That inherent stability has also made them difficult to dispose of, and over time they have made their way into water, air, and soil across the world, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. However, CSU researchers have developed a way to break down these molecules.
I'm the director of the Center for Sustainable Photoredox Catalysis, and we're developing catalytic methods to use light to drive chemical transformations. And one of the transformations that we've recently developed is the ability to break down carbon-fluorine bonds, which are found in PFAS molecules. And so PFAS molecules are nicknamed Forever Chemicals because that carbon-fluorine bond is so strong, one of the strongest actually in chemistry. And so our method is developed a way to break these molecules down into less persistent molecules, which could help with environmental remediation of these persistent molecules. And so PFAS are widely used in the chemical industry. I've read that there's over 15,000 different types of PFAS molecules, and their applications range from everything from Teflon-coated nonstick pans to water-resistant clothing or carpets, as well as the semiconductor industry. And so in some areas, in some industries, people are trying to replace or eliminate the use of PFAS molecules altogether. In some industries, they will not be able to be replaced likely. So it's a huge challenge. So in terms of the impact on the environment and human health, it's actually really hard to say yet. But every study that I've read are pretty terrifying, and they suggest that PFAS impact negatively almost every aspect of human health, from reproduction to cancers, to everything that you could potentially imagine. Yeah, one of the challenges is, I read that in water purification, a lot of the sludge has been treated in a way that introduces PFAS into that sludge, and then it had been used for fertilizers in plants, and so that's how a lot of PFAS had gotten into the soil. The challenge with PFAS is they will bioaccumulate, which, in most cases they're at very low concentrations, but because they're persistent, by their nickname forever chemicals, forever, they'll go into the plants, which will come into our food sources, and then we'll eat them, and you can see that the concentration of PFAS molecules increasing in our bodies.
More work still needs to be done in order to remove PFAS from the environment fully. Methods that would allow scientists to extract the chemicals from the soil and water before applying the technology to break them down would need to be developed in order for this to happen.
Mm-hmm. And so our work is, at this point, a very fundamental advance in research. And so a lot of work is still needed to develop our catalyst systems and more real-world applications, being tolerant to water and soil and whatever might be in the environment. But one of the other challenges of PFAS remediation is that they're found in water sources at very low concentrations, or found in the soil, and so they need to be collected and concentrated before our technology could break them down. And so many different researchers and technologies need to come together to really solve this problem, from collecting, if we're just thinking about water purification, removing the PFAS from the water, concentrating it, and then bringing it to a system that we could break them down and get rid of them.
Groundbreaking research like this puts scientists one step closer to purging chemicals that are hazardous to the environment and human health, putting CSU at the forefront in solving this important issue.
A 4-year-old girl was attacked by a coyote on Thanksgiving in Colorado Springs. The child believed that there was a dog hiding behind a tree and approached, prompting the coyote to attack. The girl was injured but was saved quickly by her father, preventing what could have been a tragedy. Colorado Parks and Wildlife is advising not to approach wild animals and to discourage them from entering urban environments by yelling and throwing rocks at animals you may see, so that they remain afraid of humans.
A former high school custodian in Loveland has been arrested on charges of indecent exposure involving minors. Police say that 85-year-old Charles Littrell was taken into custody on Tuesday after multiple juvenile victims reported seeing himself exposed in a middle school bathroom. At the time, Littrell was employed by the Thompson School District, but he is no longer working there. Littrell was booked into the Larimer County Jail with his bond set at $10,000. Investigators are asking anyone with information about this incident or similar cases to contact the Loveland Police Tip Line or Larimer County Crime Stoppers. Now let's throw things over to our feature reporter, Robert Sides, to hear a bit about the Museum of Discovery's special exhibits.
Good evening, Rams. I'm Robert Sides. The Fort Collins Museum of Discovery is holding 2 seasonal exhibitions this winter. One explores the role of skin in animal and human life, while the other explores the science of bias inside of our minds.
The Fort Collins Museum of Discovery is holding 2 exhibitions for the winter season titled Skin, Living Armor, Evolving Identity, and The Bias Inside Us. Skin showcases the roles and evolution of skin in the animal kingdom, as well as its place in human society. Visitors examine the skin on several world animals as small as birds or as large as an African rhino. It's showcasing alongside Bias, a traveling Smithsonian exhibit which explores the prevalence of preconceived bias in human minds, showcasing perspectives and examples of such.
It's just unique and special and kind of cool, right? We've all got something unique we bring, and yet we're all connected at the same time, which is pretty awesome.
Many of the exhibits are displayed, but much of the museum's focus is on interactivity. This area is where the museum says is where the learning happens.
It's important to, I think, see the world around us and try to have a good understanding and maybe empathy for what other people are experiencing, And when we bring in exhibits like this, that's the goal. It's basically to bring the community out, to give them a lot of science and facts to think about and talk about, and then to create a safe and healthy space for people to have those discussions.
These exhibits are on display at the Fort Collins Museum of Discovery. Anyone may access them with standard daily admissions. Robert Sides, CTV.
The exhibitions open up an array of perspective on history, biology, and culture. The Bias exhibition will run until the end of the year, while the Skin exhibition will show its last day on January 26th, 2025. But that's all I have for you tonight, Rams. Back to you guys on the desk.
Thanks for that, Robert.
Now we're going to head to a quick break, and afterwards our sports reporter Brooklynn Martinez will fill us in on all things sports.
But for now, see you, Rams.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Welcome back from the break, Ram fans. I'm Brooklynn Martinez here to talk about the NCAA Women's Volleyball Tournament and what's to come of it. The NCAA Women's Volleyball Tournament is underway, and the Colorado State Rams are ready to prove they belong on the national stage. The tournament features 64 teams that are fighting to reach the Final Four at the KFC Center in Louisville, Kentucky, with the championship match set for December 22nd. Colorado State Volleyball is back in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2019, a return to glory for a program that once made appearances feel like a birthright. The Rams, under second-year head coach Emily Cohan, will face number 6 seed Texas A&M on December 6th at 4:30 Mountain Time, in first-round matchup hosted by number 3 seed Arizona State. For fifth-year seniors Naheem Weathers, Karina Leber, and Kenny Sanford, this trip represents a dream finally realized. The trio who have been with the program through ups and downs will experience the NCAA tournament for the first time in their careers. The Rams entered the tournament on a 4-match winning streak, having finished the season 20-10, while securing both the Mountain West regular season and tournament titles. Their balanced attack ranks 5th nationally in hitting percentage, with Weathers 3rd individually at .499. Malaya Jones, named Mountain West Player of the Year, set a program record with 541 kills this season, while Weathers, Stanford, and Liber all surpassed 200 kills. On the other side, Texas A&M brings a strong resume. The Aggies, 19-7 on the season, have gone 3-3 against top 25 teams and averaged 13.6 kills per set while hitting .256. They are led by 6'3" junior Logan Lednicki, who has also posted 419 kills this season, and middle block Ifena Kaz Okapala, ranking 11th nationally with 1.47 blocks per set. Another matchup you'll want to see is number 4 Penn State versus Delaware State, Friday, December 6th at 7:30. Penn State is coming off a huge win, defeating number 2 Nebraska to take over the Big Ten title for the first time since 2017. Penn State won 3 of the 4 sets and proved the ultimate upset. Cameron Hanna and Jess Murizik scored in double digits with 12 and 10 kills. Penn State held Nebraska to .154 hitting, which was its lowest percentage this season. The Huskers were held below .200 just 2 other times this season. On the other hand, Delaware State just dominated against Howard University in a 3-2 win. The out-of-conference victory helped improve the Hornets' overall record to 17-3 on the season. The Hornets were led by Garen Tomlin, who had 17 kills, and 20 digs, while Valeria Otero had 18 kills and 12 digs. Delaware registered a .361 attack percentage in the first set loss, but were able to keep their momentum going throughout the next 4 sets to give Howard a run for their money. Jumping ahead to the 4th set with a .343 percentage in the 4th set and 15 kills, Delaware was defeated again. This was until the 5th and final set, where the Hornets took the lead 2-1 and kept the lead throughout. The Hornets took the fifth set 15-7 in the match. The NCAA Women's Volleyball Tournament is absolutely something you will want to tune into this weekend. And with all that being said, that's all the sports news I have for you tonight, Rams. I'll see you next time.
Living with someone you don't know on the other side of the wall is hard, especially if you don't know how to be a good roommate. The first thing that you'll want to do to be a good roommate is make sure that you always stay quiet. Be considerate of others when using common spaces and appliances.
Hey buddy, what you doing?
I'm just gonna need like 40 minutes. Be respectful of your roommate's privacy. Ugh, my bad. Finally, make sure that you clean up after yourself. Oh, fresh toothbrush.
Have you seen my toothbrush?
Follow these tips to get along with your roommates and your landlord.
Good evening, Rams. I'm Karma Robbins. With the holidays coming up, it's important to keep in mind not everyone celebrates Christmas. The holidays involve a variety of different cultures and religions, including Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. Christmas brings joy around the world to those who celebrate, but the spirit of Christmas is something different for everyone.
The spirit of Christmas means to me is just like the spirit of like spending time with your family and realizing how fortunate you are.
Christmas is normally celebrated on December 25th, also known as the birthday of Jesus Christ. Christmas has evolved over time, and the way that it was celebrated in colonial America was different from how it is celebrated today. Most Americans celebrate on Christmas Day, and they open presents underneath the tree, spend time with their family, and have a big meal.
It's traditionally celebrated on Christmas Day in the morning, and then Christmas Eve we don't really do anything, and then it's all celebrated on Christmas where we open presents, just spend time with each other, and then eat a big dinner. For me personally, it's probably like the Christmas tree and like snowman and stuff, but I know for other people it's like the cross. But when I see a Christmas tree, I just think of Christmas and like it makes me happy, so.
Some of the main symbols of Christmas are the Christmas tree, which is often decorated with lights and ornaments, and Santa Claus being another, as well as the colors red and green, which also represent Christmas. With Christmas being the main holiday people celebrate during December, there are many other cultural holidays people don't know much about, those being Hanukkah or Kwanzaa.
Yeah, so both of my parents are Jewish. So Hanukkah is about like a biblical story where, I guess for Judaism, the Torah, the Jews kind of were like running away or trying to defeat another empire, and they used their leftover oil to celebrate Hanukkah, and it the oil wound up lasting for 7 days, and that's how Hanukkah came to be, because it was a miracle that it lasted that long. So that's why we all celebrate Hanukkah.
Now that you know a little bit of background about Hanukkah, let's see how Jade celebrates with her family.
But we always make sure to light the menorah every year, which is, 7 candles. You light the middle one on the first day, and then the next days you light it from right to left, because Hebrew you read from right to left.
Some key symbols of Hanukkah are the menorah, the dreidel, latke, and many more. Just like how we learned about the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of Hanukkah is also very important.
Personally, it kind of just means celebrating something that's been celebrated for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and it gives me like, I don't know, it's just something that like I want to hold on to for the rest of my life, and I want to be able to impact other people with it, because you don't have to celebrate it to enjoy the traditions of Hanukkah. So I think to me personally, it's just a really emotional and wonderful aspect that more people need to learn about.
Lastly, let's learn some more about Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is celebrated from December 26th to January 1st. It is celebrated by Africans and African American cultures. Kwanzaa is the celebration of family, community, culture, and history. There are 7 different principles in Kwanzaa. Here's what they each mean: unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. Kwanzaa is celebrated through rituals, dialogues, narratives, poetry, dancing, and so much more. Kwanzaa was created in 1966 by Dr. Maulana Karenga, an African-American and Pan-African activist, to help celebrate African American culture, unite the African American community, introduce the 7 principles, and celebrate the harvest. Whether you're celebrating Christmas, Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa, the holidays is all about bringing people together, or it's all about celebrating traditions.
6.
Personally, I celebrate Christmas, so getting to learn about different traditions and the history behind it was very exciting. It shows how everyone is unique and how around the world there are a variety of traditions from different backgrounds and cultures. Regardless of the holiday you are celebrating over the break, CTV is here to wish you a safe and happy holiday season. Adam, what's your favorite holiday tradition that you do?
You know, we haven't done it in a while, but one that I always loved was we had at my grandparents' house. We had this pickle on the Christmas tree, and whoever found the pickle got like an extra present. And it was just a fun little thing. Even if the present wasn't up for stakes, you know, it was like, who can find the pickle? You know, where's the pickle on the Christmas tree? It was this little ornament, and I think it's a German tradition, but it was a really fun time.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I never heard of like anyone finding like a pickle and doing that. One of my favorite holiday traditions I do with my family is we always open one present on Christmas Eve.
Nice.
And we've always done it.
What's the best thing you've gotten?
I don't know. I feel like I'd probably have to say a phone, honestly.
A phone? That's
Yeah.
a pretty solid Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we've got for you tonight, Rams. This was our last show of the semester, so if you're interested in more of our content, check out our channel at CTV11 on YouTube, and we'll be back to making new content in January.
We hope you have a good holiday season, but stay safe and have a great weekend. See you, Rams.